Hey guys, today is going to be test day for Social Studies Chapter 1. And I just want to quickly go over the test with you to kind of tell you what's on it and tell you a little bit about what I expect on it as well. So for some of it, it's going to be multiple choice. All you have to do is it's going to be through Kami on Google Classroom. Grab the draw tool and go ahead and circle. Some of it is going to be short answer. You're going to want to do it, click a text box and add text to that short answer over it. There's going to be some matching, and we'll talk about that one. That one, again, you can just click a text box or even draw in the letter you want. Just make sure it's pretty clear. So I'll go over it a little bit so you guys see what it looks like. But again, this is on Google Classroom for 9/9/11 is the date, and then social studies test. So the first page is going to look like this, and it has a picture of the world. Feel free to have mom and dad help you read the test, but please do your very best to try on your own. A lot of these questions are going to come from our lessons as well as that social studies guide as well. So it's going to talk first about the equator and the prime meridian and thinking about what the world is divided into for him. Looking at the map or any other map that you have, which continent is completely in the southern hemisphere, and then looking at it again, giving examples that Antarctica and Australia are what. After that, it's going to talk a little bit about astronauts, and this part's a little bit interesting. So page 2, the bottom directions are on the bottom of page 1, but then what it does is it gives us 2 quotes. It gives us a quote by James Irving and a quote by Charles Walker, and then there are 4 questions about it, and it just, the quotes read, "The Earth looked like a pretty ball hanging in space. As we went further away, it grew smaller. At last, it was the size of a marble. It looked like the most beautiful marble you can imagine." So that's a quote by James Irwin, and he's actually an astronaut who traveled up into space. So he's telling you what Earth looked like. And then some questions that go with it is it says, what did James Irwin think Earth looked like? So you're going to want to go back into that paragraph to figure that out. And another one is, why did Earth seem to get smaller? Well, same paragraph, why did Earth seem to get smaller, according to James Irwin? The next question, question 7, is going to be based on the next quote, which says, "Seeing the Earth from space changes how you look at things. The things that we share in our world are much more important than the things that divide us." It says, what changed how Walker looked at things? So blank changed the way Charles Walker looked at things, and go ahead and look back at his quote to help you with that. And last but not least, it just says, picture seeing Earth from space. How does it make you feel? So that one's not a quote, but I want you to put yourself in the mind of the astronaut. You're on Earth and you're going up, 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 and you're looking at Earth from space. How are you feeling? What are you seeing? And that's what I want you to put down here. So kind of put yourself in those shoes of an astronaut, and how would you feel? The next page, like I said, is going to be matching terms. These all come directly from that study guide. So hopefully you guys studied it really well to help you with it. I did give the class 2 of them. So the first one I gave the class, and I'll give you as well, is number 6. It says geography. The answer to geography is C, an area of land that has its own government. So you can take the text box, put it on 6, and just type in C. Or you can grab the pencil tool and put a C on there, just as long as we can read it. And the other one I gave them was, I have to find it. Number 13 is the word border. And the answer is going to be K, a line where one place, such as a country, ends and another begins. So surprisingly enough, even though I gave those 2, I still had people get it wrong. So don't make the same mistake. Know the 2 I gave you, and then do your very best on the others. But those are all terms from that study guide. Maybe before you get going, you study it, but don't use the study guide during the test. The next one is kind of a confusing page, so I want to explain it a little bit, but it looks like this. And when we look on it, it says, think of a town or a city you know of. Write the name of the town, state, country, continent, nearby oceans, and hemisphere. So this is actually going to go from very, very close, as if you're in your town, and zooming out of our map from there. So kind of the opposite of how our lessons worked. So if you want to do it how our lessons worked, go from the bottom to the top and go big to small. One thing I told the class is it says pick a place. That's great. Do your place. Do Eagle. Do Waverly. Do where you are from, and write the name of your town. the name of your state, your country, your continent, nearby oceans for you. Don't try and go crazy and do somewhere else that's not where we're at. We're very familiar and we've studied and worked on where we are from, so don't try and do something else. Also, if you say the town is Waverly, don't tell me the state is California. Waverly, Nebraska is in a different town, or is not in California. So you have to think of that as you go through too. Make sure that you would be able to find each of those within there. I can find this town in this state. I can find this state in this country. I can find this country on this continent. I'm going to find this continent on these hemispheres, and so on. And these are some nearby oceans. So think of that as you guys go through today. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. I want to know what you know. So even though you filled out that study guide yesterday, please don't be using it on this. Try and do some recall. Try and think back. It's not the end of the world, but I want to see what you picked up from this unit's lessons. Do great. Let me know if you have any questions.